Hey, God bless you, everybody. Not gonna be on here too long. I just want to quickly get on and tell you about a dream that I had. So, in the dream, I was at my old job, and this old job that I had, um, I would have to go to court a lot as a social worker. I would have to go to court a lot and be a witness or testify or whatever. And sometimes I wouldn't be testifying, but the judge would, come down with a list of things that he would want done, and you had a certain time frame to do it. And so in the dream, I was preparing to go to court, and then I realized there were certain things that I had not done. So for instance, maybe I was supposed to link the client to a particular service, but yet I hadn't done it. Now, this has happened to me in real life, but in the dream, I'm like, oh my gosh, I didn't do it. And today I'm supposed to go to court, and the judge is going to ask me if XYZ was done, and I'm going to say no, and then the judge is going to go off on me. Now, like I said, this has happened before. This has happened to me before, where I've gone to court and something would, slip my mind, or I wasn't thorough and I skipped something, and the judge went up one side of me and down the other. It was just, it's embarrassing. The judge wasn't happy, and he went off on a tangent and just basically, tore me a new one in front of everybody. And so it was very embarrassing. And when that happened, that one time that happened to me, I made sure from that point on, the court orders would take precedence. No matter what I was doing in my job, but the court order would take precedent, priority. That would be like priority number one in my life in that particular job. And so the dream closes with me trying to think of excuses as to why I didn't link that person up to the service or whatever it was that I was supposed to do in the court order. I was trying to think of reasons why I had not followed the court order, because I knew that I was going to be in trouble. So what does this dream have to do with anything? This is a dream that God is just saying, listen, there are things that I have told you that you need to do. So this is about obedience, and not necessarily obedience like, you need to leave that guy alone or put down drugs or whatever. I'm talking about, these are things that God has said that you need to do in order to prosper, whether it be your health, wellness, mental health, financially, relationshiply. I know that's not a word, but whatever. There are certain things that God has said, okay, you need to go ahead and invest in this because this is about to blow up. Or, okay, you need to go ahead and sell your house, because this, at this point in time, this is the most amount of money that you're going to get. Or you need to go ahead and make that phone call to that person, because now the time is right for that relationship to blossom. Whatever it is, there are certain things that God has said for you to do, and you're like, not that you're being disobedient, but you're just like, okay, I'll get to that, but I have other things on my priority list. And God is saying that He is the priority. When He tells you these things to do, you need to do them and do not delay. Because even though you might do them like, okay, 30 days from now or 60 days from now, even though you might still be obedient, there's a specific point in time where when you do what God has told you to do, when you do it in the time that He specified for you to do it, it's going to have more of an impact. It's going to be able to flow better than if you wait. And so the timing is everything. So God sits outside of time and he can see all the dots that need to be connected at a certain point in time. And so if you work with the flow of the Spirit, of the Holy Spirit, then things are going to go much smoother than if you wait. So it's not that God is going to get on you and be like, you didn't do this, but it's more for you and your benefit, because you're going to be like, I feel like I'm going against the grain, or I'm going um like I'm like a fish swimming upstream. Whereas it's not that you, just like the salmon gets where it initially gets where it's going, but it has a hard way to go. And so God is saying, if you do it within his timing, if you're quick to obey him and do it within his timing, it's not going to be as if you're going against the grain. It's not going to be like you're going against the flow of the water. So God is swimming up. It's not like you're swimming upstream. It's going to be, you're going to be flowing in the Spirit, and things are going to run more smoother. So what I need you guys to do is to sit for just a second and think about all the things that God has told you that you need to do, that you've put on the back burner, because you're like, yeah, I know, God, but I'm a full-time mom or a full-time dad, and then I come home and I got my second job, which is to take care of my kids. Where am I supposed to fit whatever the thing is that you're told me to do? Where am I supposed to fit that in? And I'm guilty of that, because I'm like, yeah, God, I'm gonna do it, I'm gonna get to it, but all the things that you have told me to do. So I'm trying to do all those. But okay, you have your free will, you can do whatever you want. But at the same time, when you finally do get to a point where you're like, all right, God, I'm gonna follow that great idea that you told me to do, it's going to be harder, because now it's not going to flow as easy as if you would have did it in God's timing. So with that said, you need to sit down, think about the ideas or the directives that God has given you, that you need to go ahead and do. So once the Holy Spirit brings back to your mind, or even if you know what it is, you need to write it down, and you need to make it your priority on your list of things to do. Because like I said, you might do it 30 days, 60 days, or a year later from now, but you might not reap as big as a harvest as you could have if you would have did it when God told you to do it. Okay, so I hope that makes sense. And so I want to pivot a little bit here, because I'm going to be obedient and do what God has told me to do. So I'm pivoting a little bit. So I'm the type of person, I do not like mixing the things of the Lord with other things. Not that they're bad things, but I don't like mixing the things of the Lord with other things. So I have created a different channel, a different YouTube channel, and it is about all my different hobbies. It's basically about everything that's natural. So gardening, herbs, financial wellness, some of the crafting that I like to do. So, like I said, that's the only time where God got mad, was when people were selling in the church, basically, the money changers. That's the only time when Jesus, that we saw that Jesus, was like mad. He got that whip together and started whipping them tables and flipping the tables over. That's the only time when Jesus really got, that we saw that he really, really got upset. So I want to make sure that I'm not mixing the holy things of God, which is this channel speaking about the things that Lord has shown me, with other things. When I originally started this channel, I started with gardening, and then I just I'm just going to talk about the things of the Lord. But yet and still, I still do have that love for gardening, herbs, and crafting and things like that. So what I decided to do was to start a whole nother channel. And this is the only time you will hear me talk about this channel. So I've started a whole nother channel. What's it called? It's called Gather the Fragments. It's called Gather the Fragments. And if you would like to be a subscriber of that channel, I will leave the link down at the bottom, and you can start hearing me talking about all that stuff. So, but that's it. That's the only time I'm going to mention it, because like I said, I do not like mixing, but I'm following what the Holy Spirit has told me, which is to let the people know on social media. And I believe YouTube is social media, a form of social media. So I'm letting the people know that I do have this other channel that you're more than welcome to subscribe to. But other than that, guys, that's it for now. I love you, and until we meet again.